Hello and welcome to the video. People's bills are going up, suppliers are going bust, and there's no end in sight. It's time to take a deeper look at the UK's energy market. So today we'll examine the economic theory behind this crisis and look at what needs to be done to stop it from happening again. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Ollie and this is Economics Unlocked. Understanding the problem at the moment is quite simple. Currently, the UK gets most of its energy from wind and gas, but there's been a lot less wind than normal in 2021, and global gas prices have been really high, which means UK energy costs have soared. Economists can model this sort of supply-side issue in a market diagram like this one. In a normal market, demand and supply intersect on a graph like this, resulting in a market price and a market quantity. If there's an issue with the supply side of the market, then this is modelled by shifting the supply curve inwards, which results in the price of the good going up and the quantity that people demand going down. But energy has become a necessity in the modern world, which means the amount of demand often doesn't change much when the price goes up. And this is why energy prices have risen so much in the UK. To add to all this, the UK's energy regulator Ofgem imposes a price cap on customers' tariffs. So at the moment, suppliers are forced to absorb all the cost increases, and this is why so many energy companies have gone bust in the last 6 months. Ofgem is expected to increase the price cap in April by over 50%, which will relieve some of the pressure on suppliers, but this is not good news for consumers or for the UK economy as a whole. If the government does nothing to mitigate these price rises, then consumers will struggle to heat their homes, and since businesses use energy to store and transport their own products, the prices of everything from fruit and veg to laptops and TVs will increase. To alleviate these problems, the government could provide finance to energy companies through loans or grants, which would stop companies from going bust and stop them from needing to pass on high prices to their customers. They could also support customers like you and me by cutting the taxes they charge on gas and electricity, or providing means-tested support to those who are struggling the most to pay their energy bills. While implementing these measures will help in the short term, the government must also decide right now what they're going to do to provide a long-term fix to the UK's energy sector. Relying on wind and gas isn't good enough in the long term, so diversity and flexibility will be key to preventing this type of crisis from happening again. The government should invest right now in diversifying the UK's energy production to prevent being over-reliant on one or two sources of energy. For example, European countries have many different ways of generating their electricity, so they have not been as affected by the global rise in gas prices. The EU also has a system in place that allows countries to buy and sell excess electricity from each other. France in particular generates most of its energy from nuclear power, and can easily sell this to other EU countries, which is one reason why European energy prices are not as high right now. Now, nuclear energy is a controversial topic, but the UK would benefit hugely by reducing the red tape and expanding its nuclear capacity. And while solar and wind power are not very reliable, having more of them would undoubtedly make the UK less reliant on gas. If the government decides nuclear energy is too dangerous to use, then it must invest even more money and time into expanding other renewable resources, such as biofuels or hydroelectric and tidal schemes, and that would end our dependence on gas and wind. Another big problem in the energy market is storage. When there is too much wind or sunshine, the UK doesn't have much capacity to store this energy for when it is needed later on. But there are plenty of schemes already in use that could be expanded to make the UK's energy market more flexible. Firstly, the UK already has a number of hydroelectric plants, which can use excess energy to pump water up a hill and then release the water back down to generate electricity when needed. These could be expanded and made more efficient by using more dense liquids or even solid weights instead of just water, and in some areas disused mine shafts can be used instead of natural hills and mountains to store energy using gravity. And there are workable alternatives such as green hydrogen or even molten sand or salt to store our energy, and having a diverse range of storage methods would help make the most of our renewable energy sources. To make all this happen is not an easy or cheap fix, but the current energy market is not fit for purpose, and if nothing is done about this problem, then high energy prices will cause more inflation and lower economic growth for years to come. So ultimately, the UK needs to sort out the supply side of the energy market by diversifying the ways we produce our electricity and investing in better ways of storing the energy we generate to prevent future crises, and in the meantime, government support is needed to help reduce the impact of the current situation. That's it from me today. If you've enjoyed the video, then let YouTube know by giving it a like, and if you've got any suggestions or questions about the UK economy, then please do leave a comment down below. This is tiny. I feel like I'm in a hobbit hole. Is this drinking water? That's just tall grass, that's all that is. I can't drink this because of continuity. I've even got books. Do I do my own intro music? It's not even plugged in. Is there a socket for this? Oh, you've got little LEDs. Oh, I've broken it. I've broken the LEDs. What? That's bright. Beginner's Russian.